I feel like if you go into 28 years later not knowing that it's the start of a new trilogy, then you will be taken completely off guard by the ending of this movie. Even as someone who knew that going in, I was still absolutely shocked at just how unhinged the ending of this movie was. But don't worry, I'm not going to get into a whole lot of details about the ending of this movie. In fact, I'm not going to get into a whole lot of details about the story itself because I was actually quite surprised by it in just how often it sort of took a turn into a place where I just never expected it to go. In fact, each act of the film almost feels like a completely different movie than the one before, and I do mean that in a good way. A lot of the subversions do end up working really well because there's a lot of big ideas and hefty themes that are driving this narrative forward, and there's a strong emotional core at the center of it that is handled with a lot of confidence, but also a lot of style as well. This is the return of Danny Boyle as the director and Alex Garland as a screenwriter, having coming together after doing 28 Days Later back in 2002. Like with a lot of Danny Boyle's work, it's very electric and experimental. I want to shout out John Harris, the editor, and Anthony Dodd Mantle, who is the cinematographer. These are both regular Danny Boyle collaborators. And also, the score from Young Fathers is both haunting yet still very propulsive. There's also a really cool camera technique I want to highlight that they use. Most of the film was shot on an iPhone, and they do this sort of kill cam setup with some of the zombies, where it's like they took the technique that they utilized in The Matrix when Neo was bending backwards to dodge the bullets. And, they famously had like that camera setup where they had like a bunch of cameras just sort of set up around him. And then they just took frames from all of them to create that kind of 360 effect. They do that basically, but they had a rig set up like pressed up against the actors so that when there's like a cool kill moment, it sort of does this kind of like almost freeze framey effect, but it kind of like shoots around the zombies as they get hit by like arrows. It is really, really cool. The actors are all terrific across the board, and I think it really sticks with you here because this is, to me, the most moving and the most emotional out of all these movies, despite the big sort of tonal swings that it takes. But I think a lot of the big swings that this movie takes really do pay off, and I hope that they continue to pay off in the next film. I think it's already slated for a January release. I'm surprised that they don't have like some kind of teaser trailer attached to this one, but I'm guessing it's coming soon, and I'm very excited to see where they go from here because the setup at the end of this movie, again, I'm not going to give anything away, but it is wild. So yeah, those are my thoughts on 28 Years Later. So if you've seen the film, feel free to let me know what you thought of it in the comments.